This is our new segment called Charging Ahead, and we're looking at various sectors impacted by the race to electrify our roads. And today's segment, we're looking at one of the most important issues here, the massive infrastructure that's going to be needed. It's not just about the vehicles. Our guest specializes in putting electric vehicle chargers into condo buildings, and he says if it's not done right, it can result in catastrophic costs for these high-rise dwellers. We're joined by Matt Stainton, founder of SG Constructors. It's great to see you. So just remind us, in the city of Toronto, for example, are they saying that new condo buildings must have a minimum number of chargers?
The Toronto Green Building Standard requires that 20% of all parking spaces in a new condo are EV ready for a level 2 charger. What that means is that you've got the conduit there, and all you need to do is pull the wire and put the charging station in.
Right. You're not actually putting the charger in.
You're not. That is then generally sold as an upgrade to the buyers of the condos.
You were telling me about a building in Whitby, I think you're involved in,
yes.
And only a tiny minority of the people actually said, yeah, I want a charger?
Yeah, 20% of the spaces, of the 300 plus spaces were made EV ready, but only the take-up was only 7%, 7 spaces of the entire building at this time.
So something like 60 odd spaces are ready to take it, but only
7 were taken.
Wow, you think more people would be thinking about buying an EV in the future?
It's not cheap. It's, you can be 15,000 one side or the other, 10 to 20 depending where you're at and what the charge is to put that charger in.
For one charger, yeah.
So it's expensive. So and then you have the cost of the EV chargers and EV cars, and they're not cheap either. So, I think that people are thinking about it carefully.
There is a business out there now retrofitting older condo buildings with this service, and that can be very costly, I'm told, as well.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the condos and buildings are switching from conventional lighting to LED lighting, so that creates some excess capacity within the overall power in the building. But there's only so much power in a building, and if you've got an existing building and you then have to add all of the spots to be EV, you'd be upgrading the entire service, which would be millions of dollars.
To upgrade the service for one building, I know they're big buildings, is millions of dollars?
Millions of dollars.
Why? Because you need new transformers and all that? Or?
You need all new electrical gear. You have to pull the equipment out. You have to resurface and refeed all the parking garage. The fear that I have is that if you've got maybe somebody that might have their last car, maybe a senior citizen that's driving their last combustible car, might be even their last car, they may end up getting hit with a levy if the condo or a municipality decide to change the regulations and force the entire building to go to EV ready.
Woof. Well, it reminds me of sometimes an elevator has to be replaced, and that's a horribly expensive thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've heard you should be wary of that, but also these EV chargers could mean big bills for people.
Yeah, and I think the bigger concern is, the federal government has said that no more combustible vehicles can be made after 2035, so that's driving everything from there forward into EV. The problem is, do we have the capacity within the various provinces to accommodate that? You've got all the buildings, the new buildings, a lot of them are going towards net zero, which means no natural gas, no natural resources. So there's yet another increased demand for electricity. And, they may not like to say it too loudly, but you speak with the independent electrical authorities and you speak with the major power companies, and they'll quietly tell you they don't have the actual capacity within the province as we stand today. And if you look at something like a nuclear power plant, a new one to be built, that can be 20 to 25 years to get there and one online.
What about the fact that EVs can be used as batteries in some cases to help manage load on the electric system? That doesn't make life any easier? Or?
You see that a couple of the car companies are selling that they could do that.
Yeah.
Not as easy to be done in a building because it's not set up for that. If you've got a campsite or you want to run it that way or you want to run it at your house, you can do that, but not quite as easy to be done within a building.
And storing power for the grid is a bigger deal. Yeah.
Yes.
So your business, do you focus on these installations of chargers?
We're building the bigger buildings.
Okay.
From the ground up.
Okay.
But this is always a discussion of how much power do we need to accommodate. We've got an example of a building in Hamilton, over 600 units, 400 spots. We're putting in 20% EV ready. But if you look far enough out, I think a lot of those 400 parking spots may not be parking spots as more autonomous self-driving vehicles come online. I think we're going to see a lot of parking spots be converted to either storage or even the potential for urban hydroponic farming. We're seeing in the UK and in some parts of Europe, parking garages, as transit gets better and people move away from cars, the parking garages are getting converted into urban farms.
So you mean, in theory, you might not need to own a car. You'll just dial one up when you need one.
Certainly be less cars, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, and there may be a point in time where people don't own cars. And I think the real concern is that, all the level of governments have to work together to look at this to say, is this the right thing? It's a great thing to come out and say no more combustible cars by 2035. But does that work with the people that actually provide the power, which is at the provincial level?
Yeah.
And I don't think that it does.
It's interesting. You use the term combustible cars. I know you don't mean cars that catch fire. You mean internal combustion.
Combustible engines, thank you. Yes,
well, it's handy shorthand. It's actually a pretty good term. Yeah.
But an interesting discussion I had with preparing to come see you, I was talking with a fire person, and they said they have great level of concern with all of these cars, EV cars in garages, from a fire perspective. And I don't think we've seen a ton of it, but we certainly have seen instances of electric bikes and electric scooters catching fire. What happens if you got a bunch of those down in a garage? That becomes a much scarier proposition.
Yeah, we've less time. Has this come up on your, very little time, has this come up on your radar, the question of people bringing electric vehicles into a building, or?
Not yet.
Or, sorry, bringing electric bikes in, sorry.
Yes, it has.
Oh,
yes, it has. And we're seeing some of the universities ban the scooters on their sites because of that.